Hey y'all, Candace here from Little Steps Big Happy. I talk about health and fitness for moms. So today, one of my favorite topics, mindset tips for weight loss. And more specifically, 5 of my favorite ones. So why is mindset even important for weight loss? Here's the thing. I heard this quote and it's amazing and wonderful, but it's all about whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. What that means is your mindset, the way that you think about weight loss, the way that you approach it is going to color your entire experience. The way that you think about eating right, the way that you think about exercising, the way that you think about losing weight, the way you think about all the things is going to impact how you show up, how you follow through on those habits, how consistent you are, the things that you do. It's not just what we do, but it's how do we make ourselves do it, right? So it's not just that you're exercising, but how are you thinking about your exercising? How do you motivate yourself? How do you inspire yourself? How do you make yourself show up on the days that you feel like a slug? All of those things, that's the mindset portion of it. And I mean, absolutely working on my mindset around this stuff, it has been like the magic ingredient in order for me to become successful. So, you can tell, I get a little excited about it because, like I said, the mindset, we all, to some degree, have an idea of what we should be doing. We have an idea of what we should be eating. You know, we have an idea of ways to exercise. But how do you make yourself do it? How do you show up every day or as often as possible, you know, but how do you keep at it long enough to see results, long enough to be successful? And how do you keep at it long term so that you get to keep those results, to keep that success? That is where mindset's all about. That is what mindset is around this. And that is the thing that I think 99% of the people who are struggling are missing. I know for a fact for me, the mindset portion, that was what I needed. And once I started understanding that, once I started reframing that and working on that, everything else became so much easier. And all of a sudden the weight was coming off. And all of a sudden I could stick to my diets and I could exercise regularly and I could be that person that I wanted to be, but it was getting on top of the mindset. So today I'm going to share 5 of my favorite mindset tips for losing weight, getting fit, and kind of really being healthy overall. Okay, tip number 1, and this is going to break some of y'all's hearts, but you're going to make mistakes. There is no such thing as a perfect journey to really anywhere, but specifically a perfect journey to losing weight. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to skip the workouts. You're going to overeat. You know, you're going to indulge in the foods that you weren't planning on to. You're going to fall off your diet. That's going to happen, okay? I'm going to say it right now. You're going to make mistakes. Why is this important for you to know? Because if you have in your mind that if I don't do it perfectly, it's not going to work, you're going to give up. At the first moment that you make a mistake, the first time you slip up, you're going to be like, oh, I messed up. It's not going to work. I'm going to have to start all over. Or now that I've messed up, you know, and I ate the Cheez-Its I wasn't supposed to have, well, now I'm going to have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And let me throw on some cookies on top of that because I've already messed up. It wasn't going to work anyways, so now I have to start all over. That's kind of where our minds go. But if you recognize ahead of time, I'm going to make mistakes. Sometimes I'm going to overeat. Sometimes I'm going to skip a workout. That's all part of the process. Then it makes it so much easier to get back on track. It makes it so much easier to make your next decision a healthy one. It's because you already knew this was going to happen, so you're not beating yourself up about it. You're not playing the shame game. You're not judging yourself. You're kind of like, okay, this happens. What's my next healthy decision? And I'm telling y'all, like, the ability to go from oops to I'm moving on to the next healthy decision, like, that is huge. That is the difference between losing weight and not. That's the difference between losing a little bit of weight and then gaining it back versus losing a little bit of weight, having a hiccup, and then keep going down. Like, it's huge. You need to know you're going to make mistakes. That's okay. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It doesn't mean that the plan's not going to work. It doesn't mean that you're broken. It doesn't mean you're never going to lose weight. It just means that you're on the journey. But you keep going. What's my next healthy decision? And understanding that, like, I'm telling you, the ability to get back to it, that is it. That's where the magic is, because everybody makes mistakes. Every single person you have ever seen who has successfully lost weight, who is fit and in shape, they have made mistakes along the way. They just didn't give up. They just didn't throw in the towel thinking it wasn't going to work for them. Okay, so like I said, number 1, you will make mistakes. That's okay. All you got to do is figure out what's my next healthy decision. Tip number 2, consistency is king. So consistency, it's where it's at. You can't go on a diet for a week and expect yourself to lose weight. You can't exercise, once or twice here and there and think that you're going to get fit and stronger. You have to be consistent. So the way I kind of think about it sometimes is if you have wishy-washy, actions and habits, you're going to have wishy-washy results. What you put in is what you're going to get back. So if you're exercising regularly, if you're eating well regularly, trying to stick to your diet, the occasional mistake, but you're working hard to consistently, most of the time, the majority of the time, you are trying and showing up for yourself, those are the results that you're going to get. You're going to start to see the progress. You're going to see the weight come off. You're going to get fit. You're going to get stronger. But you have to be consistent. You have to keep trying to show up. A lot of people think consistency means 100%, and it doesn't. Sometimes it means like, I was going to go for a run, but I'm going to show up and go for a walk. Versus, I was supposed to go for a run, but I'm not doing anything, right? That is what really consistency is how can I show up my best today? Whatever that may look like, how can I show up my best today? And not just completely throw everything out the window because I'm tired, I had a bad day, it's rough, it's hard. That's not going to get you where you want to be. You have to be consistent. You have to keep trying over and over again all the time to keep moving forward. Not perfect, but you keep trying. Like, consistency is about how do I keep trying, not how do I keep doing it exactly right. And I feel like that's where a lot of people get confused. They think consistency, okay, cool, I have to do it perfect all the time. No. How can I keep showing up as best as I can every day? That's where consistency comes in. So if I'm trying to exercise 4 days a week, can I exercise 4 days a week? Even if some days that means walking, even if some days that means stretching, but I'm going to keep trying every day, or those 4 days, right, to do my best. That's what consistency is. And that's what gets you the results, because it's not just periodically, occasionally, here and there. I eat one good meal a day and then I throw the rest out the window and then I'm wondering why I'm struggling. No. What can I do each meal throughout the day? Not perfect, right? But what's my best today? What's the best I can do today? What's the best I can do in this moment? And you keep moving forward from there. Consistency, it makes all the difference, because those old habits, a lot of times, if you kind of let them take control, they can undo your hard work. So it's like consistency. Mindset tip number 3 is you cannot exercise your way out of a poor diet. So what I mean by that is a lot of people think, and this kind of really touches back on this idea that, calories in, calories out. So in essence, as long as you're burning off what you're eating, you're fine, right? But if you kind of take that approach of, oh, well, I'm eating a little too much right now, I'll just work out harder later, right? Or, oh, I'm eating better right now, I'll fix it tomorrow, right? I'll exercise some more, I'll do better later, yada, yada, right? A lot of people think you can make up for the way that you eat with your exercise. But here's the thing. It is super, super hard to do, as in you would have to spend all day a lot of the time exercising to compensate for just a few bad eating habits. So an example I like to use is a lot of times you get a slice of pizza or two and it could easily end up being 300 to 400 calories. Do you know how long it takes to burn that off? You could run for an hour and maybe you would burn that off, right? And that's not taking into account, what if you had some ice cream? What if you had some candy and then you throw a soda on that and that's just a meal, right? And so you can imagine if you kind of have that outlook at every single meal, you're never going to be able to keep up. It's just way too hard. Not to mention, you're not giving your body the nutrients it needs, right? And so, eating is not just for satisfying hunger and energy, right? We also need nutrients from our body. We need those vitamins, we need those minerals, all those things. And so when we don't give our bodies that, they're going to have us getting out some more. You're going to get hungry more often. And you'll never be able to exercise. Unless that's all you do all day, it's very unlikely that you're going to be able to exercise to compensate for that. So when it comes to weight loss, it's not about how hard can I exercise. Exercise is a complement to weight loss, but it's not the cure for a bad diet. Really, the cure for a bad diet is a better diet. Honestly, that's really the only fix. I love exercise 120%, But there were times I was exercising like a mad woman and never ever lost any weight because my diet was all over the place. And it didn't matter how hard I exercised. I could not exercise enough to lose weight without fixing my diet. So don't get that idea in your head that, well, I might work out more. I just need to exercise more. Exercising is an amazing part of weight loss, you know. But we will talk about how much of a difference it really makes. Like 20%, maybe 30% if you are super hardcore. But the other 70 to 80% is all your diet. It's all eating in better portion sizes. It's eating foods that are healthier for your body, you know, that are going to help your body process them well. That's where the majority of weight loss comes from. So you cannot exercise your way out of a poor diet. It is a complement to a good diet when it comes to losing weight. Tip number 4, you need to celebrate your wins, the big ones and the small ones. Here is why this is so important. Is we need to keep ourselves going, right? Like weight loss is a long-term journey. For most of us, unless you only got like 5 pounds to lose, which probably not listening to me if you do, you're gonna need to do more, and it's gonna take longer than just what really any short burst of motivation is gonna give you, right? Like when we get excited, oh, I'm gonna do this plan, I'm gonna follow this diet, that typically, if we're lucky, might last a few weeks. But most of us, it's gonna take much longer than a few weeks to reach our goals. So you need to find a way to keep yourself going throughout that time period. And one of the ways that's really good for that is to celebrate your wins, to always look for the things that you're doing right. So like yesterday, I'll give you an example. I did great in the morning, you know what I mean? I waited till I was hungry for breakfast. I had a healthy breakfast. I had a healthy lunch, you know, and then the mid-afternoon comes along and I was kind of wanting a snack, but I'm like, you know, am I super hungry? I don't know. So I made a healthy choice for a snack, right? I'm doing good. Evening comes, it's been a long day, you know, my body's aching, I'm tired, you know, my son was up in the middle of the night before, so I made some poor choices. Poor choices were made last night, okay, y'all? But if I were to just focus on that, I would be Debbie Downer today for sure. Oh, this is never working. I'm supposed to be so good at this. Why do I always do that, right? Like all the judgments could be oozing in. But I really made a practice that I'm like, okay, I saw what happened yesterday. Let's figure out what we can do so that that doesn't happen again. And then I spent some time realizing all the good choices that I had made yesterday. And, you know, looking back at it with some objectivity, I'm like, okay, yeah, you know what? Like 80% of my day, I was a flippin' rock star. Okay, so let's pat myself on the back for that, right? Let's recognize that it's not that all my habits are out the window. It's not that I'm terrible. It's that, you know what? I did really good for the most of the day. So these are the good things I'm doing. And then here's this one part of the day that, okay, you know, we can work on that. Let's sit there and think about that, right? I need to spend some time kind of journaling and sorting out why at the end of the day I just threw everything out the window. But I share with that with y'all for y'all to kind of see and recognize that it would be so easy to kind of judge myself. And when we judge ourselves, and myself especially, you know, all of a sudden we don't want to do anything, right? Like, why do I even want to try? It doesn't work. I'm terrible at this. It's so hard, yada, yada, yada. But looking back on my wins, I'm like, hey, you know what? I did a lot of things right. I bet I can keep going. I bet I can figure this out too, right? Like, look at all the good things I'm doing. Look at all the progress I've made. That part is so crucial for keeping yourself motivated and inspired to keep moving forward. It's not the bad things that inspire us. It's the things that we're doing well, the things that we see that we're achieving. That's very inspirational. That's very motivational. You know, that helps create the belief that you can do it, seeing all the things you're already doing. So make sure that you notice those, that you pay attention to those, even the tiny things like, did you make a healthy choice for breakfast? Did you stop when you were satisfied? Did you leave 2 bites behind? That is such a small thing, but that small victory made a huge difference in my weight loss. Huge difference in my weight loss. And had I ignored the celebration, right, like the win in that moment, I would not have bothered to repeat it. But because I did and I repeated it, it made a huge difference in my weight loss. So absolutely celebrate your wins, the big ones and the small ones, because those ones are important too, and those ones are going to help keep you going. Tip number 5 is my last mindset tip for you today, is focus on the habits and routines, not just feeling motivated. So I say that, and that might sound funny because I talked about all these other things that'll help you motivated, but there are going to be days you don't want to. There are going to be days that you wake up, you do not want to exercise. This is the very last thing you want to do. There are going to be days where you were like, I don't care about losing weight today because I'm tired and I'm exhausted and my body hurts and my kids are driving me crazy and my husband keeps talking to me and I just don't care. I just want to go eat and feel better, right? Those days are coming. I promise you they're coming. I have been at this for years and I have been successful at it for years and I still have those days, okay? So I tell you that to know that there are days you're not going to be motivated. And so motivation cannot be the only thing driving you. It cannot be, because there are going to be days that it's just not going to be there. Your life's going to get crazy. You're not going to have the energy and you're not going to be motivated. But like I mentioned before, you still have to be consistent to get the results that you want. So focus on creating habits and routines that will support you even when you're not motivated. So some examples of this, like for me, planning out my meals, planning out my workouts, and having a set time that I just get up and get it done. I rely on those habits when my motivation is not there. I rely on the fact that it's like, nope, you said you were going to do this. You know, you follow through on what you say you're going to do, so get up and get it done. Like, get up and just get it done and move on, right? Like, I let those habits and those routines help me along the days that I'm not feeling like it. And so, like I said, this is important. That creates that consistency because you're not always going to be motivated. God, I wish we were. And there are things you can do to create motivation. But there are still days, like I said, where you wake up, you're feeling like a slug, and you're like, nope, 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 don't want to. And those are the days that you still need to try to get up and do something to keep that consistency going. So you need the habits, you need the routines. Like me, I exercise 6 days a week. And I make sure I get it done before I get any of my other work done for the day. Because when all that stuff comes in, I'm too tired, I'm too busy, I'm too distracted, I don't have time. So part of my routine is that once I finish journaling in the morning, I get my exercise done. And like, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no negotiations. I'm not thinking, well, what about this? Well, what about that? No. I get up and that is part of my routine that I just do it then. Even if it's just walking around my house, even if it's just stretching, I keep that consistency with the routine, not just the motivation. And it's very similar with like, I do my meal prep on Sunday, and that is part of like a habit routine thing I do that allows me all week, even when I'm not feeling up for nothing, my healthy food is right there. My healthy food is easier to get to than the unhealthy food, right? Like, it's easier to go heat something up in my fridge than it is for me to order a pizza or for me to hop in my car and go get some drive-through. My healthy food is always there, ready and waiting for me, even on the days I don't feel like it, right? But that's part of creating, like I said, the habits and the routines that keep you going even when the motivation is lacking. So those are kind of the 5 tips I have for you guys today. I really hope those are helpful for you. Like I mentioned before, the mindset portion of losing weight, like that has been the game changer for me. And we want to talk about what has helped me the most. That's it. Like, absolutely, bar none, that is the thing that has made all the difference in me being able to successfully lose weight, get fit, really feel better in my body. If you like those and you want some more, go check out my blog. It's littlestepsbighappy.com. And I have a whole list of like 15 of my absolute, like, these are the ones that will get you there, mindsets to help you lose weight, to help you get in shape, and to really help you learn how to stick with this long term. So definitely go check them out if you want to learn some more about these. I hope you're doing well, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.